click go live?
No, this is why I didn't. It should now pop up on everybody's stream now. That's irritating. See, this is why I was using Classic Studio.
Yep, now it's
Um,
live.
okay. See, this is why I was using the Classic Studio, and it told me I wasn't allowed to use Classic Studio. Um, you see waterfall, but not Rich. Yeah, you should be able to see me now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for all of this. Thank God y'all missed all the garbage that just happened in my house in the process of me trying to be on the show. I apologize greatly. A bunch of people just got a bunch of notifications like, wait a minute, Rich was supposed to be live and he's not live, and now I gotta fix some stuff here real quick because y'all don't need to see all. There we go. So anyway. Actually, this kind of worked out because the bad things that just happened, y'all didn't notice it at all. So there we go. So let's restart the show, shall we? According to you all, I'm 15 minutes late. According to me, I've been doing the show for 15 goddamn minutes. Go figure. I'm still trying to work out the bugs. Hey, there we go. So, all right. So now that we've got people starting to log in, I bet my numbers are finally starting to go upward. I was wondering why it was so darn so darn slow. So there we go. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. So for tonight, we're going to cover. There's the real star of the show. I can see the cat. The problem is the light is still on in my kitchen, and that's really making me angry. But I'll get over it. So anyway, tonight we're gonna talk about a bunch of different topics coming up, and then you're gonna find out why I'm royally pissed off right now. I'm unbelievably upset, and by the way, my voice may sound different than you're used to, and the reason why my voice sounds different is because I was at Spring War this week, and I lost my voice for a while, and now it's starting to come back, so it sounds a little different, but that's okay. So every once in a while you're going to hear me cough. There goes Mike in the background. Mike is a roommate of mine. Mike's doing some studio work there for me. Thank you, Mike. Your check is in the mail. So there, I like that. I like that a little bit better because it's there's stuff all over the back. And so anyway, I'll talk a little bit about Spring War and then and I'll also get into the topics of the day. But folks, for those of you who have never listened to the show before, this is the world famous Rich Wilson show. Right here, you'll see this chat line on here. You guys can feel free to conversate with yourself. Also, feel free to ask me questions or comment on things I've said. I will interact with you while the show's going on. Now, do remember there's about a 30-second delay. So you may ask a question. Don't act like I'm ignoring you. I will get to it. Or if I see that your question is something I just covered, then that would be about the only time. Also, if you stick around for the show when I get to a certain point, I will give you a phone number where you can call the show and you can talk on air with me directly. But that comes at the end. So, all right. So anyway, folks, like I said, normally I do an intro that has some music and stuff like that, but that was screwed, and I can't do that anymore without getting written permission from artists and stuff like that, and it's kind of crazy because it was only like a 45 seconds, but evidently that's enough to get me in trouble. So I'm going to do a different intro this afternoon or this evening, and we'll go with it from there. All right, so here we go. Let's get started with the world famous Rich Wilson show right here on YouTube. Get yourself ready for the experience of a lifetime. It's now time for the one, the only, the world famous Rich Wilson show. Right here live on YouTube. Not from somebody's basement. There, the man, the myth. And there he is again with his daughter. And then him again in a bar. And then he's doing karaoke. And then at another bar, looks like the same bar. Oh my God, what's with the hairdo? Whoa, he was an ugly kid growing up. And then he's at a stadium. Probably because he sucked there too. And oh my God, he was driving a school bus. I feel sorry for the kids. And now he's smoking cigars and, oh, that's his old man. And there he is. He didn't build that building. I don't know why he's in that photo. And there he's driving a truck. And that's the end of the preview. And now we go to here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. So I got to come up with something because I mean I got copyright infringements flying all over the friggin' place. By the way, I know that there's some policy and procedures about doing things and certain things on the air, and like I'm not 100% certain if I'm allowed to smoke while I'm doing the show. I don't know. There's so many weird YouTube policies, but of course tonight we're also going to cover the coronavirus, Biden versus Bernie. Stupidity, and was there another one? Other news. Yes, other news. There might be other news. But anyway, since majority of the people that are listening to the show right now are amp garters, I'm going to talk to you about Spring War we just had this weekend. Spring War was amazing. The food was wonderful. We had, I think, over 500 people. And in the midst of all this garbage, we still had the event. And we had a great time. We really did. And for the most part, I spent most of it, working on stuff and everything else. And instead of other things. But I was working, But I got to see a lot of people I haven't seen for a little while. I got to hang out with people I haven't hung out with for a little while. But all in all, it was an overall blast. It didn't rain until the last day, until Sunday when we were all packing up, which is weird. Usually at Spring War, it rains its ass off at some point during the event. It's kind of like Clan. Clan is the same way. You'll get like 1 or 2 days out of Clan that are just, it's raining its ass off. But fortunately for us, we didn't have we didn't have this issue this year. We got rain on Sunday when everybody was trying to tear their stuff down and pack up their car, which, it kind of made it funny, I guess, that it stays dry the whole event. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to put my shit away dry. And then it gets soaked. So, that happens. I mean, it's just, you're like, in the last second it decides to rain. But anyway, I want to give credit to some people here. First of all, I want to give credit to Frontier Airlines. Now, Frontier Airlines, if you're going to be the cheapest person in the fucking world, then Frontier Airlines is for you. I was able to book my round trip tickets to Texas from Florida, because that's where I live. And I was able to do it for $128. Now, I spent another $100 so I could take bags on the plane. And I know everybody's like, well, the thing is, if you'd have taken Southwest, you could have put more stuff underneath the plane. And it would have cost me an additional $300 more than what I paid for Frontier. So in the end, it still came out cheaper. That worked out for me. But the staff on the plane were amazing. They were great people. The people at the counter were really, really cool. It was just an overall pleasant experience. So when the world is not going to end and you need to fly somewhere and you unfortunately have to do it where you can't take advantage of one of Southwest's got to get away, use Frontier Airlines. I like I said, now I've made this mention, everybody's going to like, okay, cool. And then they're going to, something bad's going to happen. Because that's how karma works. And I'll tell you exactly why karma is, for me, is just an absolute pain in my ass and follows me everywhere and kicks me in the balls. Because something that happened today made me angry. By the way, Ben Miller, which is in the chat room, you feel free to, if there's anything important on Raw, to pop that up in the chat room. Because I'm a huge wrestling fan. I'm a massive wrestling fan. In fact, I have a Becky Lynch shirt on while I'm on the show, which it says, "I don't care about your stupid feelings," and on the back it says, "The Man." You can't really see it because I didn't place it in the right position, but that's an Asuka. That's Asuka in the background. She just stands there and watches. She doesn't do anything. So anyhow, but yeah, so I want to give them credit. I want to also, the staff at Spring War this year, I had an amazing time. If I needed anything, they were readily available. All of them at Spring War were awesome. The court flew through. It wasn't one of those, we're here for 8 fucking hours, court. Court was quick on Saturday. We had the nighting out on the field on Friday. Surreal was knighted on Saturday night, and Lily was knighted on the field on Friday night, and it was just the presentation all the way around of the event and the way that it went. I thought I had a great time, and also the staff at Camp Lone Star, great job. The only downside note, boo the golf cart people, you suck. Way to drop the ball on that. You guys suck. In fact, if I had the audio for it, I would start the "You Suck" chant. But the Undertaker came out. No pun doesn't mean to stop. Okay. Yeah, see, it's kind of weird. The Undertaker comes out. Okay, so folks, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about now, but let me get back to it. But once again, all the staff at Spring War, amazing job, and I look forward to next year. I really do. As long as the end of the world pandemic is trying not to happen and I can't get there, I'll be there. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to fly home. I thought I was going to have to swim across the Gulf of Mexico because from Texas to Florida, where I live in Florida, straight across the Gulf of Mexico is the quicker option. May not be the better option if I'm swimming, though. But it was amazing. It was amazing. I had a great time. Now, what they're talking about, a big wrestling fan, one of the things, and I think this will tie us into the next one on stuff that's going on. That's right, the coronavirus. Again, that's all you've heard about, the coronavirus. Well, we're going to talk about some things that you may not know. But anyway, so I'm a big wrestling fan, you know this. And in order to combat stuffing a bunch of people into a building and having an event where everybody could get sick, the WWE has decided that they're doing shows now at the Performance Center in Orlando, which the Performance Center is only a 45-minute drive from my house. But they have no crowd there, none whatsoever. It's just the wrestlers, a referee, and you do have Michael Cole, and is Triple H, you have one of the Raw commentators, and is Triple H on? I don't know if Triple H. I'm not watching Raw at all right now because I'm doing a show. I'm recording it though, so I can go back and watch it. And they're doing this in the Performance Center because the one thing that WWE wants to make sure that they can do is, even though in the midst of all this, they still want to put a wrestling show in. Now, people have complained about this and said, "Oh, it's so horrible without the crowd and everything else." But at least WWE is still giving you wrestling. They could have just canceled it and put some crappy old, repeat product on there to where you're watching from like a year or two ago. Jerry Lawler. Oh, the whole Raw commentary is there. Okay, so maybe you'll be able to hear Jerry's jokes more, regrettably. I'm sorry, but Jerry Lawler without JR just doesn't seem to work. But anyhow, so they're doing that. But we'll get into why I'm angry in a minute. But let's get into this. One of the things I found out today, I was searching for some information, and one of the things I couldn't find out is what is the mortality rate for myself if I contract the coronavirus. And I was trying to figure out, and I couldn't get a whole lot of information on it. So, well, that's still in the wrong order. Nope, that's the wrong. Okay, so this one's actually the one that goes in the order. Nope, that one. There we go. And I guess this is the best thing. This is the best thing I could come up with. It is the best thing I could find. So here is the mortality rate per 10 years. 0 to 9 years old is 0%. 10 to 19 is 0.2%. 20 to 29 is 2%. 30 to 39 is 2%. Or 0.2%, not 2%. I think they could have said, 10 through 39 was 0.2%, but I guess that's in case the numbers change. I don't know. 50 to 59 is now, here's the jump, 1.3%. 60 to 69 years old is 3.6%. 70 to 79 years old is 8%. 80 plus years is 14.8%. Now that 80, the 70 to 81 is the scare, is the worry. The other ones not absolutely. It's bad that some people will die, but the one thing that this data doesn't take into account is the rate of people that have died in those age groups that are low, what would be considered a low percentage. How many of them had underlying health conditions that added to it? But this is one of the best looking charts I could find because the rest of them were just a mess. But one of the things I was looking about is this number of 3.4% that keeps getting thrown around, and they say, well, 3.4%. That's what we're looking at, and it's like I just started thinking, it's like, well, this virus is new. We've come up with this number. The numbers of infected are low comparatively to others because it's brand new, and this 3.4%, it just looks disastrous. It really does. It looks disastrous. So I was looking for some information. I ran across this, which I haven't seen this in the news anywhere, and I got this. I got this from the World Health, Health and Science website, and I did a lot of research on them just to make sure that this wasn't just a. They've talked to scientists that have been involved in researching this disease already. I mean, this is a firsthand interview with some of these. And this is the general consensus between them. And I thought this was interesting that the media wasn't covering this, at least not until I found this today. Why 3.4% is likely an overestimate. Dr. Tony Ho, a consultant in infectious diseases with Medical Research Council, MRC, University of Glasgow Centre for Virus Research in the UK, echoes similar sentiments. She goes on to suggest that the figure of 3.4% is likely an over-exaggeration, mainly due to the challenges of calculating mortality rates outlined above. The quoted mortality rate of 3.4% is taken from confirmed deaths over total reported cases. This is likely an overestimate, as the number of countries such as the United States, at this time when this interview was done, it was 112 confirmed, 10 deaths. In Iran, at 2,336 cases, 77 deaths, have had limited testing, hence few of the mild cases have been picked up, and the total number of cases. We're observing is the tip of the iceberg. In fact, the overestimation could be 10 times higher than the reality of this whole situation. Now, let's stop and take that into account. 10 times higher than the actual reality of the mortality rate. Notes Mark Woldhouse, a professor in infectious diseases epidemiology in the University of Edinburgh, UK. Okay, now Dr. Tony Ho is actually been involved in research and has been to China on multiple occasions to help in the study and the research of this. But they're saying, you have scientists now saying 3.4% is an inaccurate number. That estimate is actually 10 times higher than reality. And so when you really think about it, if it's 10 times higher than reality, okay, they said that this is 10 times more infectious and deadly than the flu. But now we're looking at this is 10 times higher than what the reality of this is, because here's the problem. People could have the virus and not go get checked out because they don't present all the symptoms or severity of symptoms to make them want to go. So what we're getting is, for the people showing severe symptoms or slightly more than just low symptoms, it's 3.4%. And that number's high. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to downplay any of this. But the mass panic involved in this is crazy. And the reason why is, that's my trip to Texas, one of the things I decided to pay attention to was, and let me see if I bring up the right image now. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so it's caused mass panic. Everybody's thinking 3.4% of every single person that gets this is going to die. It's 3.4% of the cases they've been able to research. There's a huge difference in that and the number of actual versus what they've actually gotten their hands on. And everybody ran with this information. It was all over Facebook and people talking about the end of days and everything else. And I kept trying to figure out where this how do we have a 3.4% mortality rate of a virus that just popped its head up 6 months ago? I mean, the flu's been around for a long, long time, and it's like, well, it's less than 1% of people that get the flu die. Well, I mean, there's several 100 million people that get the flu versus this one, and I was like, the numbers are just weird. Yes, 3.4% is a high number, but where are we getting this from? And I started doing research into this and realized the media just took that number and ran with it, saying 3.4% of everybody that gets the coronavirus is going to die. That's factually inaccurate. That is horribly untrue. Just off of research, like 4 or 5 different websites running this 3.4% number, and I did a search on it, and there's a lot of scientists involved in virus research and disease research that is saying that this number that's out there, it's not. A lot of them are pissed off that they put a 3.4%. Now, do they want people to not care about it? No. They want people to give a shit. They want people, wash your hands. Don't touch your face after you do that. Don't stick your thumb up your butt and then, and then shake people's hands. Okay? They keep a personal space. All these things are great. But the mass hysteria, and it's sad because you look at that picture that I put up now, the update from HEB, product limits are effective and work to help stabilize availability. Here's where I was irritated. One of the things I got irritated about. People stockpiling toilet paper. Why? In the symptoms list for the coronavirus, even in extreme cases, diarrhea is not one of them. Why the fuck are you stockpiling toilet paper? Now I get it. You may be stuck in your home for the next 14 to 20 days while you're quarantined. Okay. All right. Understandable. Do you need 600 rolls of fucking toilet paper? I mean, I get it if you're in a family that has like 30 kids. Sure. But you probably buy that over the period of a month anyway. But you had to do it in one shot because God help us, the toilet paper is going to run out. They used to have, if you have like rags that you don't mind that eventually going to throw out, it'd be cheaper. This is going to sound really disgusting, but I got this from a friend. His grandmother used to do this all the time. If you have to, because you run out of paper, you can take a rag and clean your ass. Hot, soapy water, clean your ass. You can, yes, but they still allowed imports from China, and the United States does produce toilet paper. I sent you the joke. I'm pretty sure I didn't get it, or I did, and I don't have Facebook up, so I can't look at it. If you sent me a joke, I don't know. I'll look it up at the phone. But no, seriously, okay, they were still allowing stuff to come in from China, just not people. Okay, because in the midst of all this, I still got my orders from Wish. It just added another week and a half to the delivery cycle, which if you ever go to Wish, it's already pretty stupid to get length that you get it to. But I mean, in all honesty, why do you need 100 rolls of toilet paper? Okay, why? It doesn't make any sense, and like I said, you have a shower and we're not going to be turning the water system off. So you could still poop in the toilet and go get in the shower, rinse your ass out. I mean, there's those options. But hoarding of water. We're not turning the water system off. Nobody has ever nobody has ever said they're shutting the water systems down. And what you're going to say, oh, in the hysteria, the water department may not go to work and the water system fails. Okay, if that happens, we have more of a problem than a virus. We have society as a whole, like the entire system is falling apart, and hoarding water is not going to. Hoarding water will probably be the last thing on your list of things to do. Getting some way to defend yourself from looters probably be your number one priority. I get the hand sanitizer thing disappearing from store shelves. Okay, I understand that one, so I'm not going to bitch at anybody for doing that, because what I bitch about is the people that went and bought a bunch of this shit and is deciding to sell it for 6 times what they actually paid for it or more. There was a guy recently in Tennessee that just got him investigated, bought something like 600 cases or some shit of hand sanitizer and was selling as an Amazon seller for like 500% markup. Yeah, those people, sorry, need to go to jail. Okay. But I get the hand sanitizer thing. It does help. Now I'm going to get the fucking hiccups. So I get the hand sanitizer thing. I understand that. People buying 700 bottles of it? No. And the bleach. I get that. You want to clean your house. Do you need 100 fucking bottles of bleach? No. 17,700 bottles. Okay. So that was the actual number that he purchased and was selling, at a 500% markup on Amazon. Do you need 100 bottles of bleach? No. What do you normally buy? 1 bottle a month. 1 bottle a month. Use what you usually use. Okay, so buy 2 additional. So buy 3. Buy 3 bottles for the next. That's all you need. 3 bottles. Okay, you're not going to be using straight bleach on a countertop any goddamn way. You're going to dilute it. Pine Sol. Okay, Lysol spray. You don't need hundreds of these things. You only need, I would say what you normally buy, just unless you're a hypochondriac, you should only probably buy maybe 1 or 2 cans of Lysol a month and maybe 1 or 2 bottles of Pine Sol. So you buy 4 cans of Lysol and 4 cans of bottles of Pine Sol. I mean, it's not that hard to do that, and I mean, by the end of the month, the stores will have this stuff again. But people decided, and I watched somebody come out. I watched somebody come out of the Walmart, and they had I literally saw 2 shopping carts with bleach. And I know damn well they probably got a family of 4. You got a husband, a wife, and 2 kids. Okay. Why do you need 2 shopping carts full of bleach? Why do you need 2 shopping carts full of one item, any one item in particular? You don't need the water. The water system still operates. It's going to operate. I mean, if that's the case, why when we haven't got to run on generators yet? I know. I deliver for Home Depot. Okay, and we haven't gotten to run on generators, so nobody thinks the power's going to go out, but fucking holy hell, we think the water's going to go out. They're going to shut the water down. The scientists have said from the beginning, it passes from one person to another. Usually moisture emanating from a person is the best way to spread it, whether it be coughing, sneezing, shaking your hand, and you've got some of your moisture on it, stuff like that. Yes, exactly. But, so it's not going in the water system and continuing because it needs a living, breathing host in order to operate. What? Okay, so what, the fish get it? Well, you don't have fish coming out of your tap. And then there were some people I saw that were hoarding. They live with a fucking well. A well water. So that's even worse excuse because you're the only reason why the water system would go out. So number 1, product limits are effective and work to help stabilize product availability. People, if you hoard this shit, other people can't get it, and then you have riots. In the case of any government shutdown scenario, grocery stores will stay open. There is no need to stockpile. The government will not shut down grocery stores. And Donald Trump said it today. The head of the CDC said it today. The head of WHO said that today. Every governor that has put in these restrictions have said it today. And there's going to be another thing that I'm going to talk about this. Most of the people that were caught marking up on Amazon were shut down. They're still big on Wish. Yeah, I know. So And then, of course, number 3, this is not a water emergency. There is no need to stockpile water. Our state and country water systems are plentiful. Stop buying bottled water so that HEB can use their trucks to get other items family need. You do understand when you stockpile water, toilet paper, bleach, Lysol, Pine Sol, and you completely run those stores out, they have to send an entire truckload of that shit to the store to replenish it. In some stores, like Walmart, which is much bigger, like a super Walmart, they have to send 2 or 3 trucks to cover this. And instead of getting other things like regular food down the road, to places, they have to replenish this. Like in 2 weeks, when you start to run out of toilet paper, if nobody hoarded the toilet paper, I'll guarantee you, I'm almost willing to bet every dime I ever make the rest of my life, but stranger things have happened and karma is a bitch, that you'll be able to go to the store and buy toilet paper. You'll be able to buy bottles of water. The lights will still be on. Okay? I mean, they even said today, in fact, nationally speaking, there's a list, and I didn't put it up, and I wish I did, of power companies in the United States. It will not be shutting down your power for the next 2 months. For the next 60 days, they will not terminate you even if you fail to pay the bill. Same thing with phone services, same thing with cable, same thing with water services and utility services. I've got a message. That one was new. I thought I turned the ringer off. Okay, she doesn't need to apologize to me. I'm going to have to do a lot of kiss ass later on. So anyway, these services are still going to be running even if you don't pay the bill for the next 2 months, or if the run goes even longer. So, I mean, I'm still paying the bill anyway. Benjamin Miller says just one store, 2 truckloads of toilet paper, depending on the size of your town, which would have multiple Walmarts, may require more trucks. Exactly, and they could have put food on that truck instead. They could have put other stuff on that truck instead. But instead, they're still catering to you because you decided to hoard the fucking toilet paper because God help you if you can't wipe your own ass. Because you can't get in the shower and clean your ass, and you can't use a rag to clean your ass, evidently. Toilet paper is your only option, and you must have all the toilet paper. It's kind of like Dune. I think that was Dune. He who controls the spice controls the world. Or he who controls the spice controls the universe or something. Okay? Right now in America, he who controls the toilet paper controls the country. My movie references sometimes are horrible. But see, they're right there. That, like I said, that's coming from HEB. So, just so you know, I turned off the wrong one again. Don't need to turn that one off. Nope. I think it's this one, yes. Okay, I did that image already. All right, so here's the reason why I'm pissed off right now. I knew it was coming. And this is going to segue into the other things I'm talking about. WWE's statement regarding WrestleMania 36. In coordination with local partners, government officials, WrestleMania and all related events in Tampa Bay will not take place. However, WrestleMania will still stream live Sunday, April 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern on the WWE Network and be available on pay-per-view. Only essential personnel will be on a closed set at WWE's training facility in Orlando. It means they're doing it at a performance center. Okay, and the reason why I'm angry about this, and I really shouldn't be angry about this, but I am kind of irritated about this whole deal, is because I had tickets to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is 45 minutes from my house. So I didn't have to take Monday off. Sorry, my foot itched. I didn't have to take Monday off. I didn't have to pay for airline tickets. I didn't have to get a hotel. I literally leave my house at like 11 o'clock, get there for like when most of the stuff right around the stadium starts at noon, and then go into the stadium, watch WrestleMania, be home by like 2 in the morning. Get 2 hours sleep, go back to work the next day. I can't do that now. I haven't checked to see if they've opened up the lane to refund your tickets yet. I'm pretty sure they will, but they're not. I mean, I guess we all saw it coming. But the thing is, I'm just really mad about it because it's, like I said again, I'm not taking this lightly. And if you're in that age group or that risk or that group of people that are at really extreme risk, understand that I'm not trying to belittle your situation, and if that's the situation you're in, then by all means do everything you can. However, the problem I have is I came with this thought on my own. This is purely my opinion, so please don't take this as fact that I'm about to say. This is strictly off my opinion. We'll stop the spread of COVID-19. Okay. Eventually, they'll stop the spread, and based off the estimates that I'm looking at right now, and I started running the numbers using software. 25% of the country will get the COVID virus, and let's say 1.5% of them die. But we'll stop the spread. And then the problem is what happens when the virus comes back again, because 75% of the country was never exposed to it and didn't grow the immunity to it. Because as of right now, the doctors are all pretty convinced, the scientists are all pretty convinced that once you have the coronavirus and you beat it, the COVID-19, your body has immunity to it and you will not get it again. Now, I know some of y'all are going to go out there and say, well, there's these rumors that, people are getting it after they've recovered from it. That has not been proven at all. In fact, like I said again, doctors have said that they honestly believe that. I swear there was another image that I was looking for. Oh yeah, that we definitely need to talk about. Sorry, excuse me. There's been absolutely no proof, and most doctors are telling you right now that once you get it and you recover from it, and it is no longer active in your system, that you will be immune from catching that particular virus again. Okay. So 3/4 of the country, and my numbers could be way off, and like I said, this is strictly me putting all this stuff together. It's not, I'm no scientist, but I was just looking at the numbers and the averages based on the spread and everything that's being done. Blah, 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 blah. Close to 3/4 of the country will not get it this go around and not gain the immunity to it. So then what happens when it happens again? Well, we got rid of COVID-19. We got rid of COVID-19, and then poof, it comes back again. And that wouldn't be a good thing. I think it would be way worse the second go around than it would be now. But like I said, again, this is opinion. I think, for some instances, if you're not in a high-risk category already, I don't necessarily think, this is just my opinion here, that it's going to be deadly to you, and you're going to be coughing, you're going to be sneezing, you're going to have a hard time breathing, you're going to have a headache, you're going to have a fever. As long as you do the normal things, when you get other issues and work yourself through it, you'll be fine. And then you'll have an immunity to it, But here's one of the issues that I wanted to bring up. And a friend of mine posted this on his Facebook page. By the way, most of these pictures they get off of Facebook anyway, because it's a plethora of photographs that may be misused. So things to add to the list of stuff that doesn't cure the coronavirus. Let's talk about this, for instance. Still categories, and yes, it's an upper respiratory virus. Most people survive upper respiratory infections. Yeah. So things to add to the list of stuff that doesn't cure virus. Warm water. Well, no shit. If anybody thought, there's a thing going around, gargling warm water, drinking lots of water, and salt water and vinegar is going to take away the coronavirus. If you believe that, I got oceanfront property in Arizona to sell to you. Lemons, guns, chiropractic care, and then Reiki. All right, so first of all, warm water doesn't cure. I don't even know why somebody would think, honestly, that warm water would kill the COVID-19 virus. Really? Because I'm pretty sure they started giving them warm water to drink, and somehow they still got it. And where that comes from, where the lemon, gargling, salt water, drinking lots of water, and warm water come from is somebody thought that the virus stays put in your throat for a long period of time before it moves into your lungs. Whoever came up with that idea doesn't know how the respiratory system works. And when you inhale moisture, and that stuff it comes into your body on moisture droplets and things like that. It's going to go into your lungs as soon as you inhale it. I don't know why anybody thought that it stays in one place for a long period of time, and because if that's the case, then drinking alcohol would kill it. So just go get drunk every day, and you won't have to worry about it. And I'm not being sponsored by any alcohol company or distributing company, so but that's not the case. Okay, so that's completely untrue. But let's address some of the other. Let's address the next one on the list. Guns. Okay, guns. Now, I made this comment to a friend of mine, and I swear to God, I think his post that followed it a couple hours later was direct response to what I said. Guns will cure the coronavirus. Okay, let me say that again. Guns will cure the coronavirus. Now you're going to say, well, how the hell is that possible? Well, if somebody comes down and tests positive coronavirus and you fucking shoot them, they're not spreading it to anybody else. Bleach. Drinking bleach will kill the coronavirus. The only problem is it will also cure this thing called life. It will kill you. Okay? So don't do it. Don't shoot people that get the coronavirus, and don't drink bleach if you have it. It's a horrible idea. Okay? But it also resolves another problem you may be having called living. I don't think you want to swipe left on living if you're trying to find a way to cure the problem. I think you're trying to survive. Here's an idea to slow down your body's accepting of the virus. Eat healthy. Don't smoke, like I'm one to talk. Don't get drunk all the time. Take your vitamins. I'm not going to say your prayers. Okay? And work out. And since the gyms are all closed now, you can work out at home. By the way, you have the internet. Look up high impact yoga. After this is all said and done, you not only will you come out being a little bit fitter, you might be able to move parts you didn't think you could move anymore. Okay, these things will help you. They will not stop you from contracting the virus. Okay, but they will help you, and they will assist you in being able to survive the virus. I don't even want to address the chiropractic thing. Like, getting your bones popped and put back into place is not going to stop you from getting the coronavirus. I mean, whoever thought of that and is a moron. Oh, well, chiropractic care, well, that'll solve your problem. No, it won't. And in fact, if seeing a chiropractor is not mandatory for you right now, I'm pretty sure the doctor is not going to see you. I have that feeling. I'm pretty sure he's going to tell you, well, wait for it all to come to an end, and then schedule an appointment. I'm reading something right now. Somebody sent me something that's listening to the show, but it's not in the chat room. Okay. All right. So, and then Reiki. I believe. Oh, it's called Rake. They sent me something to do with it, and then it's like, what? And then I was like, I thought it had to do with touching, but I wasn't sure. And they sent me something, and I'm like, is that what that's? So I had to look it up. For those of you who don't know what Rake is, and that's what the REIKI is. It's a healing technique based on the principles that the therapist can channel energy into the patient by means of touch to activate natural healing processes in the patient's body to restore physical and emotional well-being. Okay, so how does that cure coronavirus? If you believe in it, it might help you fight it off better, but you're still going to get it. You're still going to have an upper respiratory infection that's a virus. And then that's it. See, everybody panicking and then coming up with all this stupid shit and everything else, which leads me to my next point. If y'all keep doing dumb shit, okay, and you make it worse, then there's where you need to panic. When those stop, you're not going to get your supplies. They're not going to get the testing kits. We're not going to get a lot of shit because all of that stuff moves down the road because of truck drivers. And y'all being stupid caused them to not be able to do their job properly and be able to get things out to you efficiently. Like you see those trucks right there, they could be hauling down the road right now life-saving materials, but because you decided to buy all the toilet paper, all the water, all the bleach, all the Pine Sol, all the Lysol, they're hauling that shit down the road. They're taking up that space right now. And truckloads are not exactly like we switch this shit on a dime. Sometimes these guys are a lot of these trucks are already on the road right now moving stuff they picked up a day or two ago. A day or two ago, and they're moving it down the road to you. So it's not like they could stop the truck on the side of the road and change loads. That's not going to happen. The load is already on the truck. It's already been signed for. He's already on his way. So it slows down the process. It messes up the process. We didn't have to change what we were doing day to day, other than we needed to, and when you really look at the precautions to help stop the spread of the virus, wash your hands, regularly, and adhere to personal space. And if you get sick, stay at home. Let's stop and repeat that again. For those of them in the back that may not have heard me, wash your hands regularly. Wash your ass. Personal space. And if you get sick, stay home. You know what's really funny about that? This is all shit we should have been doing any fucking way. But we had to have the World Health Organization and the CDC remind us. I drove down the road today, and it was on the marquee over the highway. Do we need that to tell us to do this shit? This is what we're supposed to be doing every day. Now, the not shaking hands thing or hugging people and stuff like that, that's a little different than we're used to. Human beings, for the most part, are touch, animals. We feel and live off of the compassion and the touching of other people. So that part is difficult, but it's a sacrifice that has to be made. But the three main things that they've told people to do, we should be doing anyway, even if there wasn't a fucking virus out there. That tells you how stupid we have become as a people. Okay, that shows you how dumb we've become. Because the media has to tell us this stuff in order for us to do it. Because if the media doesn't instruct you, not my listeners, most of y'all are pretty goddamn intelligent, but the media has to tell people to do this shit in order to keep them from getting sick. But if they do get sick, to stay the fucking home. Common fucking sense is all they told you to have. That's literally what they did. They told you to have common sense. Like I said, we needed 24 hours, 7 days a week coverage to use common sense. But no, Facebook and media didn't tell me that in the beginning, so you know what? I wasn't doing it. Because when somebody said, hey, you're supposed to wash your hands, wash your ass, give people personal space, and if you get sick, stay home. You know what? Usually on Facebook, this is the response. You get one or two response. Okay? I'm going to explain that in a minute because that has been a huge ass misnomer on Facebook, and that's another topic of discussion. Okay? This is usually the two responses I get when I tell people, hey, if you wash your ass, your hands, and give people personal space and stay home if you're sick, it would definitely help in fighting this. You know what I got as response? Okay, boomer. And then the other one is, well, cite your source. fucking common sense. That's my source. Evidently, though, it's a problem, and people need to know about it. So, martial law. Yeah, I'm going to talk about martial law because that seems to be a fucking problem. That's the wrong button. I'm trying to find the buttons to turn shit off. Okay, so martial law, which is a big thing, and I think I'm going to go back to this screen. Okay, so martial law. Ooh, he's bigger. Folks, in order to... I'm trying to figure out how to place this so that way you guys understand how this works. Okay, in order for there to be a complete and total lockdown of the United States of America and complete martial law under military enforcement, the following thing needs to happen. The CDC, in agreement with the Department of Defense, needs to agree that the outbreak has hereby gotten to a point of 70% or caused reasonable belief in an imminent danger to the security, safety, and well-being of the United States and its population as a whole. Now, there's certain guidelines you have to reach to get to even to that. However, once that happens, then they have this thing. It's called a National Disaster Operation Plan. I don't believe it's exactly called that, but I'm giving you that reference. Once they're giving the authorization to do so, then the CDC can lock down the entire country and basically becomes the government. They will control what you can and cannot do, where you can and cannot go. Pretty much you won't go anywhere. You'll be locked in your homes until they determine the threat is over. In order to get to that level, a lot more people have to die. The percentage rate per person, the mortality rate per person infected has to skyrocket in order for that to happen. And then even then, it's not a guarantee that they can. There has to end up being law and order itself has to break down to a certain level before that will even happen. State governments have to agree to the CDC that they've lost control of their people or their people are dying faster than they can respond to it. Tomorrow, they are not going to declare martial law and lock everybody in their house. Now, that's going around Facebook like crazy. That's going around Twitter like crazy. That's even been reported on the news that people believe this. That tomorrow, they're going to lock everybody in their house and you're not allowed to go anywhere. This is completely false. Completely false. Okay? This is untrue. Nowhere close to being true. And I wish people would stop posting this shit because here's the thing. I've had to tell several people today, hey, slow down. Complete loss of all of your freedoms is not happening anytime soon. Okay? I'll guarantee you that. You are not going to see that in the next 24 hours. You're not going to see it in the next 48 hours, not 72 hours. Okay? But people are saying this, and the media is not addressing this because none of the major channels are even discussing what goes on. But if this happens, every freedom you have in the United States is suspended. All of them. And your life is dictated by the CDC. We're nowhere close to that. The guidelines, in order for them to even be authorized to do such a thing, nowhere close to that. In fact, the last virus or epidemic that could allow them to do that, we shut that down before it got to the ability, and that was the Ebola outbreak. That could have done it, but Ebola is 1,000 times more deadlier than COVID-19. That possibly could have caused the CDC to shut everything down and declare martial law, but guess what? We jumped on it in a hurry. The problem we had with this was the Chinese knew about it and didn't tell anybody for 30 fucking days that this was out there. And by then you had Chinese people coming to the United States to visit. And I'm not mad at the Chinese people. I'm mad at the Chinese government for not letting us know. And by the time they did, it was already too late. It's already worked its way around the world. It's in all different places. It's starting to go. At least when Ebola broke out, we didn't have that problem. We were able to know. But then again, the signs of an Ebola are a lot different and a lot more obvious. Okay, it's a lot more obvious if you get Ebola. Sorry, I thought I heard somebody on the porch. It's probably just the dog. Okay, versus this. This looks like, oh, man, John, you got a cold? Is that what's going on? No? Okay. Ebola, your eyes start fucking bleeding. You know, you start spitting out blood and, things of that nature, and these all start happening together. Like, you start pooping uncontrollably and stuff like that. It's a nasty thing, but it's obvious that you have something extremely serious going on, and he can be picked out of a crowd. This, not so much. Isn't COVID-19 a class 2 virus where Ebola was class 19 or something like that? The numbers, it's somewhere in that neighborhood. Ebola is way up there on the scale of lethality versus, COVID, which is a lot lower comparatively wise. But when it comes to something similar to this, the only time that there's been a viral infection, now I'm talking about something similar to COVID, I'm not talking about Ebola or anthrax or things like that, was influenza of, I believe it was like 1912 or 1920 or something like that, which the mortality rate was a lot higher than the COVID-19 is now. But since then, other than Ebola or anthrax or stuff like that, this one is... The other thing the media likes to play is like, this is like the 5th most deadly virus we've had. Okay, but the gap between COVID and the next one is insanely exponentially large. It's like Grand Canyon large. Like made a hole that killed the dinosaurs large. That's the gap. I'd have to look at it again, but the CDC, I believe, COVID classified it lower than the flu. Okay, so more people have died from influenza this year than COVID, but that's because because COVID is newer than the influenza strain that's running around, because the influenza strain that's currently running around has actually been in existence for well over a year now. So it's a big, huge difference between infections and deaths and stuff like that. But another reason why that 3.4% is shot in the ass is being reality. That's the problem. But let's move on from this. There we go. Yes, that's my next topic. I moved on a little too quickly. Yes, but so I don't want to move on from this because we did have a debate that happened on Sunday, in case you didn't know. So Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden are against each other for the Democratic presidential nomination. Now, I have a lot of friends that are big Bernie supporters, and if that's your thing, that's your thing. I'm not going to get in an argument over what I believe should be right for the country versus what you think should be right and everything else. And it always leads into people call me a racist and a Nazi and every damn thing else. Like, I own a fucking business, and I told you guys on an earlier show why I did what I did. So, but anyway, Bernie, but that doesn't matter. That's later. By the way, for those of you wondering too, COVID was, and I saw this today, and I wanted to slap somebody in the face. COVID-19 was not created by Donald Trump and his presidential team in order to keep him in office for another 4 years. Okay? That didn't happen either. I can't believe I'd have to even make that statement, but that made the rounds too on Twitter today. But anyway, Biden versus Bernie, that was a debate that we had on Sunday. I got to watch some of it. And there was some deep characterization issues and misnomers in that as well. I found it hilarious that Joe Biden said if you're a mother and you get pregnant, you should have your guns taken from you, because if you're going to have a child, you shouldn't have a gun. I found that to be an interesting statement. And then Bernie Sanders had made the comment that we should, when they were talking about the COVID deal, Nancy did it. The COVID deal, and Bernie Sanders had brought up single-payer healthcare systems And Joe countered it with, well, doesn't Italy and England have that same thing? And what's going on with them now? They have shortages of every damn thing. Believe it or not, okay, if we have to go to a system where government controls the healthcare system, okay, out of all the ones that are out there that's in countries, and everybody keeps making these references to these different countries, the one that seems actually out of all of them to work the best is, and I know I'm going to catch hell from some people on this, is the one that Germany has, which closely mirrors the Obamacare, but it has the issues that are fixed that were wrong with the Obamacare deal. Germany has a pretty good healthcare system that that looks better than ours, and it's not what was referenced in that debate. Now somebody go, well, he's brought that up before. I'm talking about the debate from Sunday night. If you look at Italy's single payer system and you look at Bernie Sanders' single payer system, they're pretty goddamn similar. Same thing with England. The problem is right now, or the UK, the same place. So the problem is right now, though, they have massive shortages right now in a lot of stuff. And Biden called him out on it, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to cover this topic for very long. Okay, I'm just not. But I just wanted a brief overview of something else that popped up in the news other than COVID-19. But then there was an interesting topic, and this is one that I want to discuss with you. Joe Biden came out and stated that, well, David, they'll take, the problem is neither one of them really want you to own guns. I mean, in all actuality, when you look at things they've said, neither one of you want to own guns. They don't want you to have guns. Also, one of the other issues that came up about Joe Biden was the whole Social Security issue, the whole Social Security thing, and he talked about stuff that he's done with it. The truth of the matter is Joe Biden has gone after Social Security for a long goddamn time. He's on record for doing it, and Bernie called him out on that. So when it all said and done, though, Joe Biden really came out of Sunday night's debate better than he did the last time. He didn't look so confused and stumbling all over the hell and creation. So, and the problem is right now, and this is one of the other issues, but let's get to the important topic of this situation, and I probably already put people to sleep talking about this, but let's talk about the important situation that came out of that. Joe Biden made a guarantee, and he made a guarantee that he would elect a female vice president, or he would bring in a female to be the vice presidential nominee if he wins the ticket. Okay. I have no problem with that. With one exception, there's only two people that I can think of right now that's on the short list for becoming vice presidential nominees. There's your first one. Because lo and behold, yes, she's not running for president again. She has said this over and over again. However, she keeps getting herself back out in the limelight. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Hillary Clinton. Yes, did Rich just say that? Yes, Rich did. She's on the short list for becoming vice president. Okay, she's on the short list. Okay. Some people talked about some of the ones that were running for president that dropped out of the race before, but Hillary Clinton is on the short list of candidates for vice president. There's your other one. Those are your two primary sought after decisions on the vice president of the United States. Now, I do apologize. The picture of Elizabeth Warren was not intended to look like that. It was. I guess it didn't blow it up to see that it looked a little bit like she's crazy, and then Hillary Clinton looks a lot better in her photo. There was no intention behind that. I was kind of in a rush, and I grabbed the first picture I got of Elizabeth Warren, put it up. All right, so those are your two on the short list for vice presidential candidates. Those are your two. Okay. It's pretty fucking freaky that Hillary Clinton is still on a list. Now, this is a person who's blamed everybody under the sun, even Bernie supporters, for the reason why she didn't win the nomination. It's pretty fucking stupid. I don't know why anybody would put Hillary Clinton. All she's done in the last 4 years is gone around and blamed every single person when her campaign didn't run right and skipped out on states that Trump won, and when she very well could have. She could have beaten him if she would have played more than just the major population centers. She could have beat him, but she failed to do so. But it's everybody else's fault. Right, I know, and like I said, that wasn't intentional. I just grabbed the first, photo that wasn't a PNG file, because you can't use PNG files using OBS. Because the PNG file that I had is her picture, that was on all the pamphlets and the billboards and the pictures and and the campaign posters and stuff like that. But it was a PNG file, and I didn't have time to go search for another version, a JPEG version of it, nor did I have time to convert the image. So those are your two primary women. Now, he could pick somebody else, sure, but when it comes to establishment, wrong side. When it comes to establishment, that's who's going to get picked. If the as the establishment Democrats say you're going to take our person, that's who. If he wants the Bernie Sanders supporters, then he's going to pick her. Okay. That's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what he's gonna have to do. Okay. In order, if he wants Bernie Sanders supporters, he takes Elizabeth Warren. If he wants the establishment Democrats, he's going to take Hillary Clinton. Like I said, he could pull somebody else out of left field, but right now those are the two that are on the short list. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover about this. I don't remember. Rather have Oprah as VP. Oprah doesn't want to be Vice President of the United States. Oprah is actually said that she would not turn down a cabinet position, but would not be the Vice President of the United States. So hopefully that gets that answers that question. All right, so let's move on from that, because I want to maybe get a chance to talk to you guys, actually listen to you guys. So let's move on from there to this category. Okay, so this is stupid shit. Stupid shit is always great, and I have to remember I have to start from the bottom and work my way up in this. So dumb shit. Dumb shit that's going around. Screw it, let's have Ron Perlman. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with Ron Perlman. I think Ron Perlman would be cool. Now, which Ron Perlman do you want? Which Ron Perlman and all of his different films? That's a great question for the chat room to pop up. What version of Ron Perlman would you like as the Vice President or President of the United States? Think that one through. All right, so let's get to the first thing. So this lovely submission, and I stole this from one of my friends on their Facebook page, Joe Johnson. Had this up on his Facebook page, and it literally says on the picture, the end of the world is coming, and no one asked for, in all of this, for Spam fries. I can't even begin to imagine. I don't even want to buy them. I really don't. Has anybody that's watching this show ever tried Spam fries? I mean, that in itself looks unbelievably disgusting. I mean, don't get me wrong. Spam is good in some applications. I've eaten Spam before. It's just a meat product. It's kind of like a ham kind of thing. But that doesn't look appetizing whatsoever. And evidently this is a thing now. Like, we're facing the apocalypse. Spam fries was an answer. I got 20 cans of that in my shelves. And I hope you like it. I cannot see myself eating that. Not exactly like that would be the thing that I would expect that company to launch. Like, yeah, this is the ticket right here. Spam fries. But yeah, so that's a thing. I'm waiting for this to legitimately happen. I'm waiting for somebody in a law firm. Now, this is just a joke. Have you been traumatized by the shortage of toilet paper? Morgan and Morgan, Attorney John Morgan, you may be entitled to compensation. I'm not surprised. I mean, I realize this is a joke, and I'm probably going to get sued by John Morgan at Morgan and Morgan for using an image of his on my show without permission. Oh, well. But I'm waiting for somebody to say, hey, did you go to Walmart and they were out of toilet paper and they were out of this and this, and were you traumatized by this? Call Attorney John Morgan at Morgan and Morgan. You may be entitled to a class settlement. I'm waiting for those to start happening next. You know, ambulance chasers, they'll do anything. I have a law degree, but not that one. And I'm sure there's people at home waiting for this to happen. So do we start dressing like this immediately, or is there a specific amount of time that needs to pass? Well, first of all, in this one, a nuclear war has to happen. But I'm pretty sure there's people. This probably got thought up, and somebody took this seriously. As the same person that thinks tomorrow we're going to lose all of our freedoms. Like, there was a picture of a military convoy, to preface this. There was a picture of a military convoy, and somebody put out there, you better believe this is coming. It's happening. The picture was from 2017, and it was a military unit. I believe that one was just a convoy of military units on a train. And when I looked at it closely, it was probably a unit going to Fort Irwin, California for NTC. And if you ever been in the military, you know NTC sucks ass. You'd probably rather be patrolling neighborhoods than going to Fort Irwin, California personally. But still, every time I see this, I see these are the people that believe this are the ones that think that you're going to lose all your freedoms tomorrow. And then there's those of us who think that's funny. You know, because just imagine running up and down the road and leather football pads with spikes and modified vehicles and mohawks and stuff like that, and we just start taking each other out. Hey, why not? Maybe the country needs a reset after all. Who knows? But, once again, that's how it goes. Now, how many shooters or former military or current military people do I have on my channel? Pretty much a majority. Okay, pretty much. There's probably a few. So, ready for my last dumbass of the day? Don't worry about it. I don't recognize all capitals as yelling. I really don't. Everybody's like, why are you yelling? I just see words that are capitalized. I never recognize it as yelling. Okay, how many people even needed to blow up in order to recognize what is badly about to happen? Who recognizes that? I know, like I said, I know there's a 30-second delay on the photos, but that right there, well, I know, and Ben has been in the military, David Williams Jr. in the military, David Williams Sr. military. So anyway, but you can look at that and know that's a motherfucker's about to lose a thumb. Well, it may not. He's not going to lose it, but it's going to get broken and dislocated really, really quickly. For those of you looking at that going, what the fuck am I looking at? That right there is the bolt. That's you pull that usually when you. Not quite 100% certain on this particular model, but I do believe on that one you slide that bitch back when you. It'll lock in the rear position when you run out of ammunition. You slap the magazine back into it, and it will slide itself forward, or you can lock it in the back position until you slide it forward, which it will put in the next round up in the chamber. Okay. As soon as he fires that gun, that rifle, I apologize. Gun is different. When he fires that rifle, that sucker's getting ejected backwards. And, well, I just say it's going to take less than a second for that which is resting against his thumb to go all the way to the back position, which is right above his trigger finger. Okay. The thumb doesn't bend that way. It doesn't. There you go, 1,200 pounds of back force. Okay. Okay. The thumb doesn't bend that way, nor does the socket rotate that way. So it's going to go backwards. It's going to break the knuckle that's sitting right on it. Guarantee that knuckle's busted. And the bone between the two knuckles. And then it's going to take his thumb and rip it right out of its socket. In less than a second. So, in less than a second, he's going to go from having an okay day, I guess, you could assume, to a very shitty one. In less than a second. That's how fast that guy's day is going to turn to shit. Let him fire it one time. He'll easily remember not to do that. Obviously, he's never fired one before. So he's going to learn really, really quick. But yeah, so there's some of my dumbass fuckery, stupidity, and everything else for today. So now, hopefully I don't regret this. Hopefully it works this time, because last time it didn't work out so well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have now opened up the phone lines. That's right, I have opened up the phone. No, I haven't actually. Nope, I have. I've opened it, which means now you're going to see things get a lot brighter here. And the reason why you're going to see things get a lot brighter is because I have to be able to hit answer. So I'm going to move some stuff around to where I can at least see a number. So you look there at the bottom of your screen. I hope you can see it. If you can't, I'll move it up for you. There you go. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the phone number to call the show. If you want to talk about anything in the world that we're talking about today, that's the phone number to the show, and I need to find where in the world the answer button is. It's on here somewhere. Usually it pops up somehow, some way. If you want to call the show and you want to talk to me about it, you want to be live on the air, there's the phone number to do it. It's right there off to the side. You can give me a call, and we can get you on the air. I'm going to keep this open for probably about another 10-15 minutes. Does anybody know, in particular, real quick, while we're waiting to see if anybody wants to call the show today, does anybody know in particular if you? I don't think you're allowed to smoke on the YouTube channels. I don't think that's allowed. That's another reason why I'm not going to keep the phone open up long, because, well, I want to have smoke. But I don't think I'm allowed to do that. I mean, I do have it listed that this is not for children, but I'm pretty sure in order to do that live, that's a no-go. I went reading through the policies and procedures. I don't know. They shut my show down last time because I used copyrighted material. I don't want to run the risk of that. But anyway, I don't know. I still have no voice. You're lucky. Oh, okay, cool. But I'm pretty sure somebody else wants to call the show. Like I said, the phone line is open in 352-585-9754. No, it isn't PC only. Well, okay, so, okay. But anyway, the phone lines are open for you if you want to call the show. By the way, for those of you who go back to this show and check this out later when it's not live, you won't be able to call the show when I'm not live, because I shut the page down, and the phone won't ring. You'll just get my obnoxiously stupid long voicemail. So I'll just make sure. Let's see. Oof, that's ridiculous. This tab is using your camera or microphone. Oh God, no. Microphone, yep. Ringing, default speakers, yep, that's right. Okay, so that's all correct. But right now, nobody's calling. I got to close that. It's probably really bright on my forehead. I had to turn the air conditioner off in the studio because, well, it's hot, and so I'm sweating. But anyway, like I said, 352-585-9754. That's the phone number for the station. If you want to call it. In fact, look, I'll even prove it to you that it works. Like, you're probably thinking, oh yeah, whatever. This is a joke, right? It's not operational. All right, so I'll give you. I'll show you that it works. Well, maybe it'd help if I dial the right number. 352-585-9754. Watch, it's disconnected. Holy, oh, that's right. My no cellular network. Please check your Wi-Fi connection. I don't have Wi-Fi. Oh my God. I do have Wi-Fi. I just the voice and call settings are way off. By the way, this is one of the things that I have an issue with having Metro PCS is, for some reason, this issue happens over and over again where it decides that it doesn't want it. I want to say, after even classifying, you have to wait 90 seconds after the stream starts before you're okay, as long as you're not promoting smoking. Okay. Well, I'll just wait until the show is over. Like, this is supposed to have, I'm supposed to have Wi-Fi calling on this phone, and Metro PCS will turn off your ability to use Wi-Fi calling. It will, and it even says that. It says your cellular service has shut off your Wi-Fi calling. But anyway, okay, so no takers on the phone call tonight. That's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. We'll try again the next show. Nobody really wants to call and talk to me about it, or has nothing that they want to discuss on their own. I'm cool with that as well. I mean, hell, if it's not working, that's okay too, because it's been long and drawn out and painful and everything else, and I've probably made everybody miserable anyhow. But anywho, so let's call this show a show then, shall we? I can say that it's definitely been real fun out there today. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, but I'm gonna go ahead then and get the fuck out of here. My final thought for tonight. We know you're nicking out, bro. I'm not nicking out, so to speak. But anyway, yep. So I'm shutting the telephone down now. I mean, people weren't even in the chat room. They could have called while I was on the show on the chat room instead of using the chat room to talk. But yeah, well, all right. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my final thought for tonight, and then we're gonna call this an evening. Okay, so here's the deal. Okay, common sense. I realize that some people in this world are missing it. What is common sense? It's an innate sense to know that little voice that says, don't do this, that most people ignore. I know I've ignored it a time or two myself. But when it comes to disasters, and it comes to tragedies, and it comes to pandemics and everything else, a little common sense really, really, you could have called me about AmpGuard bullshit, but I've already shut it down. So next time, remember, you can call me about anything. A little common sense goes a really, really long way in these situations. You can have all the book smarts in the world you want, but the common sense is what's going to get you a lot further. Like Scott Lawler said, don't eat yellow snow, wash your hands, wash your ass. Don't buy more shit than you need. Those are all common sense things. They don't require a degree in rocket science or your PhD in rocket science. They don't require, a lot of thinking. And nor do you have to have somebody tell you these things. You already know this stuff. Inside of each one of us is a basic instinct to survive, given any circumstance. Unless the environment has determined that you don't need to live anymore. So then nothing you know and nothing you do will change that. Death is inevitable one way or another. Instead of running around your life being miserable, instead of running around scared to death that the world's going to come to an end tomorrow, here's an idea. Why don't you live? Why don't you enjoy what you have? I mean, you could be sitting here scared to death of coronavirus, and tomorrow morning you get run over. And it's all over. But instead you freaked out. You bought 700 cases of water. You bought 1,000 packs of toilet paper. But it didn't save you from the guy who ran the red light and ran you over. Hell, your town may not get a single person with COVID-19, but yet you bought 700 cases of water and 700 packs of toilet paper. With what? The bad news is the water in the bottle and plastic bottles will go bad before you get to use it, unless you keep them at the same temperature, which has to be a little bit below room temperature in order to have the plastic not affect the water. And it still doesn't last forever. The toilet paper, yeah, it takes a while for it to go down, before it starts degrading, but it will eventually. Somehow the package will get cut open, somehow moisture will get into it, and then you'll have mold developing in your toilet paper, and you can't wipe your ass with that. But you thought it was a great idea at the moment because you were not thinking. You were scared that the world was coming to an end tomorrow. Instead of waiting till more information come out, more facts came out about what was really going on. Instead of that, live your life. Don't do stupid shit. Use your common sense. The media doesn't have to tell you how to live your life. The social media doesn't have to tell you to live your life. I don't need to tell you how to live your life. The only suggestion I have is enjoy your life while you have it. Enjoy it with the people you're with. Sure, the world can end tomorrow. Are you going to die miserable? Or did you enjoy it while you had it? I don't think the world's going to end tomorrow. Hell, I don't think the world's going to end at the end of this year. I could be wrong. I think we're still going to keep going around that burning thing in the middle of the galaxy, of our solar system. We're still going to go round and round and round and round and round. And I'm pretty sure this time next year we'll be in the exact same spot we were. Now I know I'm going to have some crackpot go, well, actually, no, we'll be like 400,000 meters more to this way. But pretty sure the Earth will still be somewhere around here next year. I'm pretty sure, unless something tragic happens, most of us will be here next year. Now, in case that's not a thing, remember this. Use common sense. Enjoy your life. And hug and kiss the people you love. That's all I ever tell you to do. Enjoy your life. Use some common sense. And kiss the ones you love. And if you're not there to give them a kiss and a hug, and you're like, well, you told us not to do this. Well, if your ass is sick, that common sense thing again, if you're sick, don't do that. But make sure the people you love know you love them, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. Like I get done with the show, contact a loved one, tell them that you love them. Wake their ass up. Because I know in some parts it's almost tomorrow. And then life will get better. It won't be so bad. And then maybe my dream is major network medias start shutting down because you guys started thinking for yourselves. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got tonight for the Rich Wilson Show. I hope you enjoyed it. I realize that, yes, people are like, well, you ramble on. Yes, I do. And when I used to have a station manager, I was good at trying to keep time, but fuck it. I talk about what comes to my mind. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. This show is not sponsored by anybody. Not brought to you by any letters. Not brought to you by any numbers. It's just me. I hope you, like I said, once again, hope you had a wonderful time with us, and thank you very much for spending your time with me. Somebody asked a question earlier. They sent me a private message going, why do you always look like you're looking down? Because where my eyes are right now is where the chat room is, and I spend a lot of time reading it and paying attention to it to see if it's moving or to see if anybody's saying anything, because I want to respond to them as soon as possible. Next week we're going to start. We may start a new program on the show called Mailbag. I'm already starting to receive emails from people who have checked out the show. That should be really interesting. But not next week. There's going to be another show this week. And I will tell you right now, if my ass gets quarantined, there's going to be a lot of these shows because I'll have to do something and not kill people. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for everybody here at the Rich Wilson Studio, which is me, we all want to say thank you for coming out. This has been the world-famous Rich Wilson Show. He is currently broadcasting globally and has only 10 listeners, one of which is in India. Yes, a guy that was my fan on the radio show. Real quick, I have his name written down here somewhere. He was a fan when I had the radio show, and he's back listening to me again. That's amazing. And brother, I know you're out there in India. I can't really say his name because he's listening to me while he's at work. I can't say it, but I can't say his name. Brother, I'm glad to have you back as a listener, man. It's been a long time, and thanks for the message you sent me saying that you were great to hear my voice again. So, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful night, and we'll see you on the other side, whichever side that may be. And now we bring this show to a close. That's right, this time we're bringing it to a close. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the world-famous Rich Wilson saying goodbye, salutations, and Mr. Anderson. Somebody actually asked if I'd say that in the voice. So have a good night. Goodbye.